Hello hikers and nature lovers, this is Blue Jacket and my channel. Thank you for watching. Today we will tour the major grounds of the American Revolution, the site of winter encampment of the Continental Army here at Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. Let's get started. Happy trails! It's December 19, 1777. American Revolutionary War is taking place for 2 years now, and the main body of the Continental Army, commanded by General George Washington, is on the move. Only 3 months earlier in September, British forces took over Philadelphia, forcing Continental Congress escape from the capital. After failing to retake the city, Washington led his 12,000-man army about 20 miles northwest to Valley Forge to build a winter quarter, retrain and reorganize his units. We are taking Valley Forge Historical Trail, nearly 8 miles loop around the entire site. There was several reasons why George Washington chose this particular place as the site of the winter camp. It was close enough to Philadelphia to allow him to watch the British, but far enough to remain beyond reach of surprise attack. And most importantly, to prevent the British to occupy the Pennsylvania richest farming region, which was vital for supplying his army. This fortification for artillery battery was built by the soldiers to protect the campsite. The British units were placed only 20 miles away in Philadelphia. Soldiers spent winter in those log huts. The troops were formed into 12-man squads, each to build their own. The construction proceeds slowly, but within a month, most men were under the roof. Let's go inside. As you can see, it's very basic here. You have bunks on each side, fireplace, and muddy floor covered with straws. That's all. Imagine yourselves in those conditions. The soldiers strongly believed in their cause, and they were willing to sacrifice anything for it. The conditions in the camp were extremely difficult. Diseases, starvation, missing clothing, and ill equipment cost life up to 2,000 soldiers. This large triumphal arch is honoring the General George Washington and the Continental Army. This is Valley Creek that, together with Schuylkill River on the north, provided good natural defense from possible British attack. It's very cold today, about 36 degrees. We had some rain and snow mix early in the morning. That's why I decided to shoot this video today, to create an authentic atmosphere of what those soldiers had to deal with back in 1777, 1778. I can't even imagine to spend the entire winter here like this. This is a former train station here in Valley Forge. The Schuylkill River is right behind the trucks, and I think I'm gonna have my lunch here to stay protected from the rain. Feeding so many men of the Continental Army was a serious task, and food supply was often poor. In the first months, the camp existed on subsistence level. Fire cake, which was basically just a flour mixed with water baked in the fire pit, was the only meal most of the soldiers had to survive on daily basis. My today's lunch is very basic, just instant noodle soup with tuna meat and flour tortilla. But compared to food soldiers had to eat back then, this would be considered delicacy. This stone structure, known as the Isaac Potts House, was the George Washington's headquarters. Soldiers really appreciated that George Washington stayed with his army here in Valley Forge during such a difficult time. Let's go see inside. This is the statue of George Washington. I saw the original of this sculpture in Virginia State House in Richmond last year in September. The guide lady was very sweet and knowledgeable about the statue. It's hard to forget. Besides the food and equipment supply shortage, the Continental Army was facing another crucial issue: a low fighting skill and moral and discipline of its soldiers. In February 1778, a former Prussian officer, General Friedrich von Steuben, arrived in camp reporting for duty as volunteer. George Washington appointed him Inspector General with the task of retraining the army.
Thanks to his previous European experiences and administrative talent, von Steuben, within a few months, reshaped Continental Army of Volunteers into a conventional fighting force ready to face the British.
The Continental Army left this camp on June 19, 1778, as a totally different military force than the one that came here exactly 6 months ago. Their suffering and newly gained experience and skills were the gunpowder needed in the fight for our nation's freedom and independence. That's all for today. Thank you for watching my videos and supporting the channel. I'll see you next time with hiking, backpacking, outdoor living, history, freedom, and more. Happy trails!